right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, a teenager arrested, accused of shooting one of the 11 victims at a downtown party.
I'd like to see him charged, honest truth, as an adult.
And tonight, always watching, the cameras in one local town that helped track down a stolen car with a toddler inside.
Another weather first, weather alert as the potential of flash flooding appears to be increasing over parts of our area once again tonight.
Here we go again for a third night in a row. Storms are moving towards the region. The heaviest bands are expected to hit areas already waterlogged. Good evening. I'm Ann Allred. Mike Bush has the night off. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking it all for us. Scott.
You know, we're in our weather alert tonight, not in a storm alert just yet, because we're not sure exactly how this is all going to pan out tonight. But we want you to be on heightened alert that we could have some problems overnight and especially towards early tomorrow morning. Right now, things are fairly quiet around the St. Louis area. We're looking basically at this disturbance coming in from western Missouri. We've had a few showers drifting across mid-Missouri, but it's really in the next 2 to 3 hours when things will start to perk up here off to our west. Generally near and maybe just south of Columbia, things will get going here heading into the late night hours and especially into the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock time frame early tomorrow morning. So as we just kind of time things out with our very latest Futurecast, this is a high resolution guidance. You see those showers and storms bubble up. It's very late tonight and towards daybreak tomorrow when we see that action. Now, unfortunately, any heavy rainfall, it wouldn't take as much as it would have yesterday to create flooding because we had all of that last night. Some spots getting 5 to 6 inches of rain. Well, those areas southwest and south of St. Louis in that flood watch as we go through the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. So I think for the next 2 or 3 hours we're fine, but then overnight showers and storms will be developing. Most of the rain will be to the south and southwest of St. Louis. And again, locally heavy rain will be in there. There'll be some downpours and maybe even a few gusty breezes out of some of those thunderstorms, especially south and southwest of St. Louis. And then we have more weekend storm chances heading.
Tonight, flooding on the Big River is an issue at St. Francis State Park near Bonne Terre. The campsites are closed through Monday. Flooding concerns are also closing down campsites at Merrimack State Park in Franklin County until further notice. Tonight, more than 4,000 Ameren, Missouri customers are in the dark after last night's round of severe weather. 70-mile-per-hour winds went through the Farmington area, knocking down trees, power lines, and a traffic light. And a close call for a family in Bonne Terre after a giant tree came crashing down in their yard. It came within just a few feet of bedrooms where children were sleeping. No one was hurt. The tree crushed the garage, ripped down power lines, and caused damage to a deck, fencing, and a pool. Storms and heavy rain also caused damage in the Metro East. Skylens 5 flew over this cornfield in Madison County. You can see the crop is heavily damaged. This is off Pogue Road, not far from the SIUE campus. Developing tonight, St. Louis police are investigating a deadly shooting in North City. Investigators say a woman was found with a gunshot wound to her head near Planned Industrial Drive and Stratford Avenue. They believe the shooting happened elsewhere. The woman was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Tonight, a teenager is in custody on an assault charge in connection to the deadly mass shooting on Washington Avenue. One teen was killed, 11 others were hurt at a downtown building back on June 18th. New tonight, the father of the teen who died is sharing his reaction to the new developments with our Robert Townsend. Robert.
Hey there, Ann. You know, today I told Daryl Moore about the arrest in this case. Now, Moore says right now he's still processing it all. However, he is extremely clear about what he thinks should happen to that teen police arrested.
I really miss him.
Not a day goes by that Daryl Moore doesn't sit on his front porch and think about his son, Mikhail Moore.
Man, I miss everything about him, man. Him just calling me, him getting my nerves, him asking me, send him $10 on cash out.
On June 18th, Moore let Mikhail go to a party with a friend at an office building in downtown St. Louis.
My understanding it's supposed to have been a graduation party.
Police say around 1 a.m., gunfire rang out on the 5th floor and sent dozens of teenagers running for their lives. 17-year-old Mikhail shot several times, didn't make it out. He died.
Some days I be angry, man. Some days I be just crying. I just want to know why. KO wasn't perfect, you know. I ain't gonna make him seem like he was an angel or he was the, you know what I'm saying? But he was mine.
11 teenagers were hurt that night. Police say on Wednesday they took a 16-year-old into custody in Bell Fountain Neighbors in North County. He's accused of shooting one of the victims and was taken to the St. Louis County Juvenile Detention Center.
I'd like to see him charged, honest truth, as an adult.
Meantime, this devastated dad wears a necklace with a picture of his son.
He was like 8 years old on this picture.
And patiently waits for Mikhail's killer to be caught.
Not only when you kill a person, you're killing their whole family, man. You're taking away from everybody.
Now, police say they're still investigating this case and looking for others, including the 5 gun-toting teens you see in this photo. Moore also tells me he's now undergoing counseling for depression after losing his son. Live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Tonight, new laws are in place to strengthen gun laws in St. Louis City. Late this afternoon, Mayor Tashara Jones signed new open carry restrictions into law. It regulates open carry in the city, banning people from openly carrying or displaying firearms unless they have a concealed carry permit. You have to be at least 19 years old to have a conceal and carry permit. St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy plans to discuss enforcement tomorrow. Tonight, a St. Louis area man who cyber-stalked and terrorized women across the country for years is heading to federal prison. A judge sentenced Robert Merkel to nearly 6 years in prison for his crimes. He is accused of threatening women online that he would rape and kill them. Merkel pleaded guilty last month to federal charges as a prior and persistent offender. His sentence, it's almost a year more than his plea agreement recommended. His victims say it's not enough.
And so though I am grateful, it's just, you know, one ripple in change that needs to happen.
The type of torment that it causes is significant, and the legislature needs to realize the severity of the crime and pass laws to hold offenders accountable.
Missouri lacks laws on cyber stalking. It's something our I-team uncovered when we began reporting on Merkel years ago when he went to prison the first time for similar crimes. Last month, Governor Mike Parson vetoed a bill which included a task force for cyber crimes. New tonight, St. Anne police are touting license plate readers and flock cameras once again. This time for getting a young child safely back into his mother's arms. Laura Barczewski is live at the Quick Trip off St. Charles Rock Road and Lindbergh to explain. Laura.
And this all happened so fast. St. Anne police say if it weren't for these flock license plate readers, they wouldn't have caught this car along with the person in it and the child inside as quickly as they did.
It all started here at this St. Anne Quick Trip on St. Charles Rock Road, where St. Anne police say a man drove off in his girlfriend's red Dodge Challenger with her 4-year-old son inside.
There was a domestic dispute between him and his girlfriend at the time.
After leaving the gas station just seconds later, police got another 911 call reporting the same vehicle had crashed into another car and left the scene of the accident. But this time, they had a license plate number.
We were able to plug that into the flock camera system, which we utilize. And our dispatch was able to give us recent locations as to where that had hit based on the LPR cameras.
She's talking about a network of license plate readers that look like this, giving them the latest location of the car with the child inside. You all right, my man? Near Natural Bridge and Goodfellow.
They located the vehicle, conducted a stop with it after they chased it for about a minute in a pursuit. I think he was going about over 100, 120 at the time, and then he decided to pull over.
I didn't flee from you. That's where they arrested the man just 5 minutes after the first 911 call, showing all of these tools worked exactly as they were supposed to.
For such a small child to be involved in such a, high-risk situation, it feels great to be able to have such a great solution to this.
Come here. Detective Lieutenant Monica Rellis says she was able to personally reunite the boy with his mom. What's your name? Rellis says while the license plate number helped, these cameras can look at the whole picture to help solve crimes, even across state lines.
It captures details of the vehicle that other cameras might not, or maybe don't record, right? So it captures details such as the rim colors, the fender colors. I think these cameras are essential.
So the St. Anne Police Department is now looking into adding more of these cameras to their city because they've seen just how big of a difference they can make. Reporting live in St. Anne, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
For the third time in months, former President Trump entered a not guilty plea, this time in a D.C. federal courtroom. Mr. Trump was arraigned on 4 felony charges today. Those charges include conspiring to defraud the government and seeking to overturn the 2020 election. The former president is accused of spreading lies about a stolen election, which culminated in the January 6th Capitol attack. A defiant Trump spoke after court.
When you look at what's happening, this is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America.
Trump's legal team says his claims are protected under the First Amendment. The former president also faces trials in New York and Florida ahead of his 2024 presidential campaign. An historic hospital in South St. Louis will soon shut its doors. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, South City Hospital has notified the state of its plans to close the 178-bed facility. No date was given, but the emergency room will be closed effective tomorrow. The former St. Alexius Hospital has served the Dutchtown neighborhood for more than 150 years.
Tonight, we're searching for solutions in Kansas City.
We're not going to turn our back anymore. We're going to make sure we're invested in every part of the community.
How KC is investing in its history to help rebuild its future. Easier connections. The new flights taking you from St. Louis to hot spots with no stops.
Keep your seatbelt fastened. It's a turbulent ride with this weather pattern heading right into the weekend. The weather concerns tonight that continue into the weekend.
Tonight, we return to Kansas City in our Searching for Solutions series. We explore how private and public investments are not only helping turn the city around, it's also helping bring historic neighborhoods back to life. It's leading to not only revitalization, but also jobs and tourism. Our Brent Solomon takes us to Kansas City's 18th and Vine district.
They say music molds memories.
So many things have been birthed from just this.
Kansas City native Christopher Nickens playing his saxophone in the historic 18th and Vine neighborhood, a part of the city that left its footprint on jazz music back in the 1930s and 40s. It's home to the American Jazz Museum, which attracts tourists from all over the world, 7 days a week. In 1991, the neighboring community that housed some 30 buildings was listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
As a kid, I remember doing book reports and seeing movies and hearing stories about 18th and Vine.
As he grew older, Joey Thomas noticed the community started to change.
10 years ago, a lot of blight, a lot of uncertainties in regards to what direction that the district was going in, a lot of lack of leadership. I seen business come and go.
In 2022, Kansas launched the Rebuild KC grant, providing $22 million for communities to take back their neighborhoods. This year, that energy continued with another $15 million investment from the city.
We're not going to turn our back anymore. We're going to make sure we're invested in every part of the community.
The private sector is also joining in as new apartments dot the landscape. As we continue to take a stroll throughout this historic community, we couldn't help but to notice a pattern of signs of intentional rebirth. There are plans to breathe new life into this former city workhouse castle, built in 1897. A developer wants to bring a boutique hotel and single-family homes here and across the street.
We could have Melina working the cashier.
We caught crews assembling for the grand opening of The Spot. It's not your average cafe.
It's a culinary workforce development program, or essentially a social venture. I saw this concept in Seattle.
So Chef Shanita McAfee Bryant brought it to her hometown.
This is what would be the east side of Kansas City, Missouri. I think the median income in this area is between $18,500 to $27,000.
The cafe, housed in a former city utility building,
3, 2, 1, cut.
is allowing people who live here to get job skills through a 16-week training program called Prospect KC. $500,000 in city funding supports it.
I think he's one of the most amazing human beings to ever walk the face of this earth.
And then there's the Negro Leagues, which started right here in 1920, giving black baseball players an opportunity to play professionally.
This was a cultural crossroads in its heyday, 18th and Vine, right, where jazz and baseball intersected.
Now, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is looking to expand its 10,000 square foot space into this 30,000 square foot location just down the road, staying in the heart of where it all started.
You think about taking advantage of this global, right, opportunity for our city and being able to introduce worldwide people who will be flying in to our brand new airport across the world and experiencing Kansas City's barbecue, the love of sports, soccer, but also the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Expansion, investment, and keeping the history alive.
I think it helps us redefine what people may think about Kansas City. We get a lot of Dorothy and Toto jokes, all of that, whereas now they're saying this is a dynamic place with outstanding facilities, businesses, diversity, and growth.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Southwest Airlines is adding more nonstop flights out of St. Louis Lambert International Airport. According to the St. Louis Business Journal, Southwest will restart daily nonstop flights to any of the 3 airports in the San Francisco Bay Area starting in March. Also in March, seasonal nonstop services will also be added to Los Cabos, Mexico, along with Palm Beach, Pensacola, and Destin, Florida. In less than 2 hours, Missouri's back-to-school sales tax holiday gets underway. From Friday to Sunday, you will not have to pay state or local taxes on items like clothing, school supplies, and computers. This includes online purchases. Let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell and the weather first forecast. And we're talking about a lot of rain still to come.
Yeah, you know, we have tonight to get through, tomorrow morning, then we have the weekend. And it's not going to be a completely dry weekend. There will be dry time, but not everything is completely dry this weekend. We're still trying to dry things out down to the south. Evan shared this picture from Farmington with us. Evan's on our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group, and you can join that too and share your photos, but you see the trees down, power lines down. There are still about 2,500 customers in St. Francis County that don't have power right now. We're pretty quiet in St. Louis at the moment. We do have a partly to mostly cloudy sky around the metro area. Not much in the way of rain on the radar, but a little bit out to the west of St. Louis. There's a little bit trying to come in towards Wentzville right now, also out towards New Melle, very light, sliding towards Wildwood. It'll be into Chesterfield here in a little bit. And a few more showers out here coming and approaching towards Gasconade County. The areas out to our southwest are the areas we're more concerned about, obviously, because going southwest of St. Louis, we saw 3 to 6 inches of rain yesterday and early this morning. You still have that warm, humid air to the south. It's still being lifted up over a boundary, and we still have another disturbance to get through overnight and early tomorrow morning. That combination is going to give us another round of some showers and thunderstorms, especially south and southwest of St. Louis. It should not be as extensive as what we saw last night, but we're still 81 degrees. Our high today was only 84. Surprisingly, you know, even though Sullivan picked up 5 inches of rain, Farmington, you had 4 to 6, and then Lambert comes in with 1/100 of an inch for the day, and that's it. So temperatures tonight with the muggy conditions in the 70s. We have showers. Here's the timeline on this. This is the latest high-resolution model that we're looking at, our latest futurecast. Trying to kick off a few scattered showers even in the metro between 1 and 2, and then things start to ramp up a little bit as we head towards 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, the focus for the heavier action is to the south and southwest of St. Louis. A few of the thunderstorms not only having downpours, but also potentially some gusty winds. Then everything tends to fade out tomorrow morning. We'll get warm tomorrow afternoon, mid to upper 80s. Tomorrow night into Saturday, another disturbance heading our way, and potentially some more showers and thunderstorms. Now through lunchtime, this is where we'd be concerned about the rainfall and how much. Heaviest should be to our south and southwest. Unfortunately, as you go from Crystal City down towards St. Genevieve, Perryville, back to Farmington, Potosi, those areas had decent rain yesterday, too much, and so The potential for additional flooding, if that comes too quickly overnight tonight into tomorrow, is there. So the flood watch south and southwest of St. Louis. We'll keep that weather alert going into early tomorrow morning. Not as confident about how things pan out tonight as we were last night. Saturday and Sunday, still opportunities for scattered showers and thunderstorms, most likely early in the day and then again late in the afternoon or evening hours. And both Saturday and Sunday, we could see some stronger storms, especially Sunday. Much cooler Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Scott, thank you. Corey Miller has what's coming up in sports.
Well, the Cardinals have a lot of innings to fill the rest of this season, and they need Matthew Liberatore to step up. Things didn't go quite according to plan tonight at Busch Stadium. Stick around, sports is up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
I've been comparing these final 2 months of the Cardinals season to a lame duck session of Congress. Yes, it's still happening. No, it doesn't really impact a whole lot. However, there are a number of players with an opportunity to impress at the end of this lost season. Matthew Liberatore is one of those players. He got the start tonight against the Twins. 5 2/3 innings and 5 runs for Libby. Gave up a pair of 2-run bombs to Ryan Jeffers and Michael A. Taylor, which ended up causing most of the damage. The play of the night's coming up, though. It's not these home runs. It's from a fan in the stands, a Cardinals fan, of course. Look at this grab. That's some good hands. The Cardinals did make some noise on offense. Alec Burleson has been hot as of late. He crushes this homer into the St. Louis bullpen, but the damage had already been done. Twins end up winning this one 5-3. But now in the rotation to finish the year, Liberatore knows he'll be back out there soon.
Overall, I would say it's a positive outing. Got beat on 2 homers, but at the end of the day, I thought he pitched well.
You know, it's easy when you go out there and you don't perform well and you get sent down to kind of feel like that's what's going to happen if you don't pitch well and then press about it. So knowing that you're going to get multiple in a row can kind of take that weight off your shoulders a little bit.
Former Cardinal Jack Flaherty debuted for his new team, the Orioles, today. They were in Toronto, and he faced former teammate Paul DeJong, getting one of his 8 strikeouts on the day. Flaherty had a 3-0 lead when he ran into trouble in the 6th, gave up a run, but got Matt Chapman out on strikes and then Alejandro Kirk on a flyout to end his outing. Flaherty and the first-place Orioles win the game 6-1. The past few days have been a whirlwind for Jack, and he got an added bonus today, striking out his old teammate.
It was fun. It was just like, you know, fun, like new energy, new everything. And sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but, you know, Adley was awesome back there. I definitely laughed when I saw him come up the first time, but it was good to get him, so it was nice.
Parkway Central's Max Scherzer sported his new Texas Rangers colors for the first time today. Made the start against the White Sox, and he was not sharp early. Scherzer gave up a bases-loaded walk, and then this base hit. The White Sox had an early 3-zip lead, but Scherzer settled down. He struck out 9 in 6 innings, not allowing a run over the final 5 as the Rangers came from behind, made him the winner, the final 5-3. Well, if you're not already tired of hearing about the quarterback battle for Mizzou football, I guarantee it won't be long until you are. It's the most important question in Columbia right now, and there's a wild card in the mix. Sure, you know about Brady Cook and Sam Horn, but that wild card has arrived in the form of Miami transfer Jake Garcia. He was a former big-time recruit with a big-time arm to boot. When it came time to transfer, Garcia knew he wanted to be in the SEC and now have a chance to win the starting job at Missouri.
I'm just like, that's big-time football, and I want to be a part of that. So I think that was huge for me to be able to have this opportunity presented to me and capitalize on it. So just trying to make the most of that. But, I mean, really, I think that the big thing was being around Coach Drink, Coach Kirby with the offense, and the weapons that we have over here.
This man will take his talents to Mizzou next season. Francis Howell state champion receiver and defensive back Jude James is a Tiger commit. A big play threat, James could just be the first in a number of notable in-state recruits to pick Mizzou and Coach Drinkwitz in this class. For a Mizzou team that already has 4 former Vikings on it, the Howell to Columbia pipeline is turning into something special.
I think a lot of guys have come through Howell that have gone to Mizzou, and I think it's just we can keep building on, keep getting guys, keep it in, staying in state.
I know when Drinkwitz got the job, he wanted to lock down the borders, and he's definitely done it at Francis Howell.
Definitely his energy, I think, for sure. You know, the guy's he's a character, and definitely gets his guys going. That's what really probably intrigued me the most.
And that'll do it for sports tonight.
Corey, thank you. We'll be right back.
And our weather first weather alert continues overnight into early on Friday. The potential for showers and storms going to pick up again overnight tonight, especially south and southwest of St. Louis, areas that saw the heavier rain yesterday. At the moment, there's not a lot on radar, certainly nothing heavy that would get you worked up about a problem. It's more likely between 3 o'clock in the morning and say about 6 o'clock or so, and mainly south and southwest of St. Louis. We'll stay in the 70s. It's muggy overnight. Again, some downpours, maybe even a few gusty winds from Rolla down towards Centerville. Anthony Slaughter will be here with you bright and early tomorrow morning at 4 o'clock to walk you through the morning rush hour.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for being with us for 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Please start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great Friday.